Mm. You want to go outside? Okay. Cool. Okay. Since I will be saving the stream, I'll just start talking. I'm just sitting here. I was kind of bored on Friday. Decided let's do a live stream, okay? All right. See if hello, sir. Hello. Hi. Hi. Good boy. Yeah. You okay? Mm-hmm. Right. Scratching Buddy's ears. My other dog's outside. Hello, hello, hello. To the people joining. Yeah. Buddy is loving these ear scratches. He's sitting like a human. Yeah. So yes, happy Friday, everyone. I was sitting here. I've been obsessed with this lady. I can't think of her name on YouTube. Her name is Social Simone, and she likes to dissect like people's spending. And y'all, she was talking about this lady who got kicked out of her Section 8 housing for committing welfare fraud. Y'all, the title was so insane to me. I was watching the video. I was watching the video and I was like, oh, it just gets crazier and crazy. You ever hear a story and it starts out crazy, and the more that the story gets told, it gets even crazier? That's how this story was. It was just a mess. I'm like, okay, people that commit welfare fraud, if you think you're not going to get caught, I don't know what to tell you, because you always get caught. And usually with welfare fraud, the number one way that people get caught is that it gets reported. Because, I mean, you don't have caseworkers that are just sitting here with the eyeball on you. So it usually gets reported every single time. If you get caught for welfare fraud, it was reported that XYZ. It was reported that, whatever. So one, be careful. Okay, here's the thing. I'm not condoning any illegal activity. I'm not. But people that usually commit welfare fraud are not smart. They're not smart. They tell all of their business, whether it's to somebody or they tell all their business socially. They're on social media platforms. You're spending a bunch of money on unnecessary things while receiving government assistance, and you're advertising all of that. And then a lot of times you have somebody who just does not like you and will report you, and they'll have all the evidence. They'll report you to your county or whatever, saying, hey, I know that this person is on government assistance and they're showing this, that, or whatever. And that's usually how it happens. But yeah, this lady got kicked out of her Section 8 housing because she was selling candied grapes, okay, of all things, selling candied grapes. And her apartment was right across from the manager's office, and people were coming and going on a daily basis. This woman made $10,000 in 7 weeks and was advertising vacation. So her leasing manager turned her in to the Section 8 office, and she got kicked out. And because she was making all this money, she got kicked off of welfare. Girl, what you should have been doing is you should have been reporting that income, and you should have told your caseworker about that income that was coming in. That's what you should have did. And yeah, because now your caseworker because you have two caseworkers. You have your caseworker for Section 8, then you have your caseworker for your food stamps and your cash aid. Both of these people need to know what income is coming in, because that then determines how much we're going to give you. If we think you're making too much, we are going to either, hey, Evelyn, we're either going to cut it completely or we're going to cut. I haven't only been live about 5 minutes. I was talking about this lady who got kicked out of Section 8 housing for selling candied grapes. Her leasing manager reported her to her caseworker because she had the leasing manager probably thought you were running drugs out of there, because the people were coming to her apartment off and on all day, every day. That would be the first thing I would be thinking of. Like, somebody's running drugs out of my buildings and I don't know what's going on. And the leasing manager knows that she's on Section 8, okay, because she's the manager and she had to approve this lease. Also she was advertising it on a business Facebook page, all the money she was making. How she got caught, let me tell you how she got caught. Well, no, yeah, she got caught being sued, but she said somebody commented on her Facebook page and was saying everything that she was doing, and they knew she was on Section 8. They knew she was getting food stamps. They knew she was getting cash aid, all this stuff, and they knew that she was making all this money, because they went through all of her posts where she was selling the stuff. She was advertising it on her business page. They went through all the posts and totaled what she allegedly made and alerted her caseworkers. So she got kicked off of food stamps and got kicked out of Section 8, and she could have faced prison time, but because she had never done it before, the investigators told her, we're just going to kick you off altogether and you can't apply again. She should be lucky that's all that happened to her, because a lot of times with welfare fraud, this is the thing they'll do with welfare fraud, okay? A lot of times with any type of fraud, and see, well, this is government issued money, okay? So the government don't play when it comes to their money, all right? Yes, they'll make you pay it back, all right? So the thing about welfare fraud is a lot of times they'll be investigating you and you won't even know it. You won't even know it. They will wait until you have done enough fraud for them to make a case, all right? Which is usually over the amount of $10,000. And that's how she got caught, because she said she made $10,000 in 8 weeks. Look, I got to give it to the girl. She know how to make money. Girl, if you can make $10,000 in 7 weeks, then you don't need to be on Section 8. Like, listen. The amount of times I've heard about people committing welfare fraud and the stories I have heard of people committing welfare fraud. I know somebody who works for the Department of Human Services, and the stories I hear and the loopholes that people will do thinking they're not going to get caught. So speaking of fraud, right? I worked at Walmart back in 2011, and it was my first week working at this place, okay? What is he doing? Where's Snoopy? Oh, it was my first week working at this place, and I didn't know anybody. I didn't know, I'm just training, and there was like this chatter around somebody potentially getting fired. Now, anybody who's worked retail knows that people gossip, especially women. Gossip. Go to work and mind your business, okay? So there was all this chatter, and me, I'm new here, but I'm hearing everything. I'm just taking it all in. I'm not talking. I don't know anything, because I don't know anything. I'm just like, okay, all right. So they had been watching this guy who worked there for months. This dude was coming to work, clocking in for his shift, leaving. Then he would come back and clock out for lunch, then leave, come back and clock in. This guy was doing it for so long that when they brought the investigators in, and he was stealing so much money, it was grand theft. Grand theft is over $10,000. So they were watching him, And then I found out later on, like how they caught on to him. They didn't notice it at first. They said that when they went back, he was doing it for like 2 weeks. And they were like, okay. And I heard from like one of the managers that what happened is that they caught him after 2 weeks, and they said, let's see if he does it again. They were like, they wanted to see if he did it again, because if he didn't do it again and he just started coming to work, they were going to just fire him and then, try and then take whatever money and do this, the stealing time. But he kept doing it. They kept doing it. So they kept watching him. And because he just knew he wasn't going to get caught, they made it a point to not catch him. They knew what he was doing. They had cameras on him. They knew what he was doing. And they made it a point to not check him on it, because they wanted to make sure he stole enough time to make a case. But I don't know how much money, but it was enough for them to come in and arrest him. And not only are you arrested, now this is a felony on your record because you stole time. It's grand theft, and you have to pay all that money back. You have to pay all of that money back that you stole from a company. And it just goes to show you that most people that they think they're going to get caught, they think they're getting away with it. There's somebody watching you. Yeah? You want KFC? Okay. You think you're not going to get caught. You always get caught when you're comfortable. You think you've done something and you're like, oh, okay. You think you're comfortable. Like, Snoopy, can you come here? Come. Okay, yeah. What's the question? Snoopy, why do you have my sandal? Just open it a little bit more. Yeah, when this happened at Walmart, I know there was more to the story, but I was new there when it happened. It's like I wasn't gonna go around and be like, yeah, that guy, they got fired. Like I was like, I'm just here to work. But that was like the gist of it. I'm pretty sure there was a lot more involved and everything, but yeah. It is. The reason why it's harder is because they have to factor in both persons' incomes. So from what I know here, as a person who's been on it before, so when you go in and apply, they're going to ask, are you single, married, whatever. The first thing they're going to ask, if you're married, they need to see the other person's income. If that person is not working, he or she needs to be actively looking for a job. Okay. Now they have it here that they did a law. I think it passed the 1st of January this year, that if you can't find, say you're looking for a job, you need to be volunteering somewhere, and those volunteer hours need to be turned in. I think you have to be doing at least 20 hours a week, because that's still considered working, right? And so it's harder to get it when you're married because they factor that person's income. And the thing about it, because the threshold is different for every state and every county, right? So they may say, okay, your husband is making this much, but you're making too much for this. All right. Now it's easier to get food stamps than it is to get cash, because the cash, you can do what you want to do with this, but with the food stamps, they can really track it. So it's easier to get food stamps than it is to get cash. So you may get approved for cash, but you may not get approved for cash. You may get approved for food, but not get approved for cash. And a lot of people are like that. They need the food anyway. So, but if you're not married and you have children, they're going to ask, is the man paying child support? If the man is not paying child support, they're going to go after him for the child support. And a lot of times, you know how people try to commit fraud? I don't know who the father is. They'll say that. They will literally say they don't know who the father is, to not get the man in trouble. Because a lot of times when they do that, he's living in the home when he's not supposed to. And so don't have a neighbor who don't like you. Don't have a friend who don't like your man, because usually when it's reported by someone you know. It's reported by somebody who is smiling in your face. It is every single time. And a lot of times, because I know somebody who also works for Child Protective Services, usually when it's reported, it is somebody who knows you. because they've seen how you are with your kid or whatever. It's usually somebody you know. Somebody told me 99% of the time it's a family member. It was. Oh, it is. Let me close it. You out there playing, running around playing. Yeah, a lot of times with the welfare fraud, the person is living in the home, and that's how they get caught too. Because, yeah, come on, no, sit down. No. Sit down. Yeah. A lot of times you'll have the fraud. The other person is living in the home, and and then a lot of times, no, down. They'll tell all their business. They will tell all of their business, like, oh yeah, my boyfriend lives with me, and they'll tell you all, like, he's not supposed to, he ain't supposed to be living there, blah blah blah. And I was talking about this in my stories. I knew somebody who was getting Section 8 housing, and she said only her and her son were staying there, but she had moved her boyfriend in. And anytime when Section 8 does inspections, they'll let you know in advance, so you know when they're coming. She would hide his stuff, but how she got caught is she didn't hide it, and it was obvious that man was staying there. So she got kicked out because they were like, the lease, when you do a lease, here's the thing, when you do a lease for anything, whether you're on Section 8 or not, they ask how many people are living in your home. So if you try to move somebody in, whether you're on Section 8 or not, you've broken the lease. So with Section 8, they're like, you got somebody else living in here, and this person is probably making money that is not reported. So there's that. Good boy. So yeah, people that usually commit fraud, they're telling all their business. They're very public about it. They're showcasing all of the things that they're buying and everything, and it's just like, it's a mess. It's a mess. People that usually get caught for welfare fraud are not smart. They're not. Also, this, because welfare is government issued money, the government does not play when it comes to their money. Same with the IRS. Okay. Also, this, if you take out a loan and don't pay it back, a federal loan for school, and you don't pay it back, it may not happen the year after. It may not happen the year after that. But the IRS, they can garnish your wages. So let's say that you file income tax, okay, and you have a loan that you haven't paid back, and they've sent notice. When they start sending notices that you owe money, that's when they can start trying to make you pay this money back if you haven't paid it back, right? So if you file taxes, that's going to let that federal loan company know that you file taxes, and they're going to garnish your wages because you have a Social Security tied to that money, okay? But this is what people try to do to try to avoid that. They will stop working and then have the other person living in the home start working because they can't garnish another person's wages. They only can garnish yours. So people will try to find a way around that. But don't worry. And then, like, if you don't have any money, if you don't have a bank account, they can't garnish that. If you don't have any assets, they can't garnish that either. But the thing about it is that don't take out a loan if you can't pay it back. Do not take out a loan if you cannot pay it back. But a lot of people take all these loans because they need the money. But the thing about it is, you may need the money right then and there. But are you going to do something to pay this money back before the interest? The interest is so high on a federal loan, like, by the time you pay it, they'll tell you, oh, you don't have to pay for X amount of years, and people won't even try. People won't even attempt to pay this money back. So what happens? The interest rolls in. You're like, oh, I can't afford this. You signed that letter saying you agreed to pay this money back. And even though they told you had 4 years before you had to start paying, what your mindset should have been was setting money aside every single month to pay that loan back. That's what I did when I went to college for dental assisting. I set money aside each month to pay that money back, and the student loan got paid off. It was no problem. When you take out a loan, and then that affects everything in your life going forward. That's a huge dent in your credit score. Huge. Not paying back a loan, good luck. The only credit card you're going to get, your APR is going to be 40%. So have fun with that. You know, I mean, unless you're a low life and you don't give a damn about having a better life, then okay, then by all means, you know. But if you ever want anything in life, if you ever need to finance a car, if you need to rent an apartment, rent a home, if you ever need a line of credit for anything, you're not going to get it. You will not be approved because you took out a loan because you didn't see into the future. It's so many people out here getting loans and getting money, and they're not thinking about the future. They're thinking about right now. You need to have a 5-year plan. You need to have a plan for what you are doing. I will call tomorrow. Oh, wait, Monday. You have to have a plan, okay? So whatever money okay, let's say today for example, okay? Me and my husband already have a 5-year plan. We have a 10-year plan, okay? And the plan is personal. It's nobody's business, but I'm just saying we have a plan like, okay, this is where we want to be in 5. This is where we want to be in 10 years, right? Because my husband's a year older than me. So we have already prepared for when he retires. Hello. So you need to have a plan for that, because you have a lot of people who are Walmart greeters, who are crossing guards and all this stuff because they did not plan. And you could have been working a job where you weren't making enough money. That happens too. But a lot of times they didn't plan. All right. You know, you worked at a job where you didn't have a 401k because you weren't making enough hours, but eating little money. My thing is that it does not take much to start a savings account, because little by little, when you start saving, that little bit of money adds up. If you can buy anything that's not a necessity, then you can have a savings account. You may say, I only got $5. Okay, put that in a savings account. If you do $5 out of every single paycheck, if you get paid weekly, let's do the math. I can't do that because it's connected to my. Let's do the math right now, okay? All right, so let's say you're saving 5 times 52 weeks. That's $260. It may not seem like a lot of money, but let's say something comes up. Let's say you're driving your car and a tire blows out. You need a tire. That's where that emergency fund comes in. You have to prepare for the things that you think may not happen. You know what I mean? So, and then like you're saving $5 a week. Imagine if you save 10. Imagine if you save 20. The thing about it is that you need to pay your bills and pay yourself. I don't mean pay yourself to go shopping. I mean pay your savings account. All right? There needs to be a percentage of money that you take out of your paycheck that pay your bills, pay your biggest bill first, which is your rent or your mortgage. All right? Then make sure you have food. Make sure you have electricity. Make sure you have water. Then pay your savings account. Anything else needs to be saved for any other shit that needs to pop up. Okay? Hey, girl. Like, it's too many, like that. Like, I'm like, if you can go shopping, if you can go to Starbucks, if you can go get fast food, if you can go and the cost, you know, I can talk about the cost of groceries versus fast food. I'm not talking about that. But my thing is if you can buy things you do not need every single week, you can have a savings account. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. You guys go play. Go. Go. Listen to me. Go play. Go. Okay. Thank you. Hello. Can you move out the way, please? Can you move? Your butt is all in the camera, sir. Sir. Hi. Come over here. Come over here. Come. Come on, over here. Come. Okay. Hi. Hello, sir. Why? Why are you doing my ears? He loves ears. Oh my God. Buddy. I love you too. I love you too. Very much. I love you too. Okay. Yeah. I know. Thank you for showing me so much love. Thank you. Are you a meerkat? Good boy. Y'all, he just said, listen, mama, I need to give you some kisses. You're good. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. For anybody watching who who may want to talk about me, that red collar is an invisible leash. It's this. It's called an e-collar. Used properly, you will never hurt your dog. Okay, I have it on a very low number. It's on 6. That's for, if I'm around the house, whatever. If he's outside and very distracted, I turn it up to a 10. Right? It's my trainer used it. The trainer I spent a lot of money on. All right. So I'm gonna listen to him. Snoopy also has one on. They usually only have it on when they're going back and forth outside. I've loosened up on how much I have Snoopy's on per my trainer's advice. And now I'm just doing commands. If I feel like he's a little too distracted, I will put it on him just to do a little bit of, we're still doing training every single day. We're still doing place training. We're still doing crate training, not as long, but just so he doesn't forget those commands. He doesn't forget those commands. But Buddy is going next week on the 23rd. He'll be gone for 6 weeks because regardless of what you may think, you can't train an older dog. And so he'll be gone for 6 weeks and he'll be back on July 4th. And he's just going to be a better dog. We look at it as an investment. It's not cheap to have a good trainer, who knows what they're doing. You're investing that time. I figure, because dogs' lives are so short and you want them to be here as long as they can. So just like a human, if an animal is always stressed out or always on 10 or 100 or whatever, if a person is always stressed out, it causes them to have a heart attack, right? It shortens their lifespan from always being stressed. It's the same thing for a dog. So we're not saying it's his fault or our fault. Like he just has, reactivity, and that's what's going to get fixed. And so we're going to give him to the trainer. The trainer's already met with him and everything. And I sent a couple of videos. So he'll come back an even better dog and we'll all be better for it. So yeah, it's all good. It'll be weird having just Snoopy for 6 weeks because I was used to having this Buddy by himself when Snoopy was gone. But Snoopy has always been a very calm dog. But now he's even better. So yeah, that's what's going on. But we'll just say, welcome to Kristen's. Let me put it out there for you. Like, listen, like I talk about things that I know. Not everything I talk about are things that I experience. Is things that I've seen people in my life, like family members, go through, and I'm just like, oh, girl, oh, sir, do you think that's a wise decision? Like that sounds a little suspect. But you do you. Just don't involve me yet, okay? Because you got people that are so comfortable with their illegal activities, they'll tell you as if they're telling you, I'm getting ready to go to the store. And you're looking at them like, yeah, what? I know. What is it? Tell me, what? What is it, sir? Okay. Well, you got something to tell me? You got something to tell me, sir? You good? You good? Okay. You do have people that are just comfortable talking about their illegal activities, like just posting it all online, posting pictures and everything. Like they'll say, you'll know they're on government assistance or whatever, and then you'll see them on vacation. I know what you might think, like, oh, people can't go on vacation. To me, if you can afford a vacation, then I don't think you need the government assistance because obviously we give you a little too much money. Now here's the thing. If you are and you're working, I'm not saying you don't deserve a vacation, but it's the optics of it all. You may be like, look, I saved a little bit of money for the past 2 years, to save this. Then okay, and don't brag about all the shit you bought. Yeah, that shit too. My thing is, this is like, quit posting everything online. Quit talking about it, especially if here's the thing. You think people ain't watching you? Because here's the thing, the government already don't want to give you money. You think people ain't watching you? Especially if you're on disability. Oh, they are watching you. Depending on the circumstance of how you got your disability, there have been so many people that have gotten told for disability fraud because they're told they can't work with your disability, but they see you at a Home Depot picking up some wood, and you said you hurt your back at work. Or you said, you can't drive, you have anxiety and blah, blah, blah. And they see you driving a car. Y'all seen that Stephen King mini, the little video called Cat's Eye, where that man talking like he didn't want to smoke anymore, and every time he lit up a cigarette, and you turned around, somebody was watching him. That is the government. Especially if you get disability, they will be watching you. Like, oh, you said you can't work, but you out here just looking fine, like you can, you know. If you're getting any, and my thing is this, is that if you don't want the government in your business, then don't get the government's money. That's how I look at it. If you don't want the government telling you how to spend your money, what you should do with it, then you need to get off of assistance. Like, I'm sorry, not sorry. My thing is this, is like, because I've been on government assistance. I'm saying it as somebody who has been on it. Being on government assistance is not fun. Being on government assistance was temporary. Okay, I wasn't on it long. I was only for like maybe a year and a half, 2 years. Okay, got a job. My husband started working again. We were good. Okay, it's not fun being on the little amount of income. Okay, well, it was little for us back then. Now people out here getting. I can see why people don't want to get off of it. I think the max in California, the max you get for food is like $760 for a family of 3. So I understand if you don't want to get off the assistance, as much as groceries cost. But to me, I like freedom too much. I don't want to be shackled to like trying to, and also this. There's a saying that if the government can feed you, they can also starve you. So you got to think about that, is that at any time, anybody can come in. They can change any law. The branches can change any law, and at any time, your assistance can be snatched from you. Now, I'm not saying nobody can lose a job. You know, your job could be taken away from you. That's two completely different things, though. I'm just saying, if you are solely relying on government assistance, they can easily take that money. Remember when the government shutdown happened? And nobody was getting any money? That's how quickly they can take your income from you. Over the next 5 to 2 years, we're going to see an influx of creators being prosecuted for tax fraud, for not reporting income on social media. This should report. Listen. I was talking about this. I don't know if you saw my stories, but it was a few years ago. It happened in the planning community because it was a hot topic in the Planners Gone Wild Facebook group. A lady started a GoFundMe page because she needed like $15,000. And people were like, well, what do you need $15,000 for? So she was selling a bunch of planner supplies through PayPal, right? And she was also buying like hard to get items and selling them. She made like over $10,000 and she was getting this money through PayPal. She didn't report it. PayPal did. PayPal said, wait a minute. Because if you're getting money through PayPal and you're getting that much money, that's considered income. You need to report it to the IRS. When you get a PayPal account, you have to put in you're filling out a W-9. No, a 1099. That's what you fill because you're working for yourself. You fill out a 1099. Okay. Y'all seen Roseanne, the 1099? Okay. You fill that out because when you receive over a certain amount of money, yearly or monthly, it has to be reported. She didn't report this money to the IRS, so she got audited. And she said she didn't know she had to report it. Why not? You get the statement at the end of the year. I get a statement from PayPal every single year. Now, even though I have never filed income tax when it comes to YouTube, I get a W-2 every year. It's laughable, you know, because I don't make close to anything to file. But I get a W-2 every single year. That lets me know how much I made on YouTube. You have to make over $10,000 in order to file. Okay. I wish, you know, not that I need the money, but I'm like, it would be nice to make $10,000 from YouTube. That's just some spending money. But you have to put in your social security number. Okay. So also this, okay. If you are getting government assistance and you are getting income from YouTube, you have to report that. If you don't report, you put in your social security number. If you think your caseworker does not know about this, caseworkers are like the cops. Before they ask the question, they already know the answer. They do. You have to report that income. It doesn't matter. I don't care what type of platform you're making money on. And that income, you can't say, well, I only made $100 off of YouTube and I made, $5 off of TikTok. They want you to report all of it. All of it. That is income you're bringing in. And the reason why you need to report that, because they have to adjust what they're giving you. Now, granted, if you're only making $100 every couple of months from YouTube, they're not going to really adjust it. They might say, okay, we're going to take $50 off because you're not making anything. But if you are meeting more than that threshold, which is $100, let's say you're bringing in $150 every single month for YouTube, and that gets reported. They may say, okay, we're going to take off $150 because you're making that every single month. The second that stops, we'll put it back. You have to report it. If you don't report it, that's considered welfare fraud. Now, you may not get caught right away, but they will wait until you have stolen enough money to get you, because they want to make a case. They want to make sure it's a prosecutable offense. Like, I know somebody who works with, and the stories I've heard, the fraud that I've heard, the hoops that people will jump through for welfare fraud, and the dumb shit they do, the obvious shit they do, and they end up getting caught. The stories I hear, I'm just like, oh, they're stupid. Like, I've heard some of the craziest stories of welfare fraud over my 42 years of life, and so people, look, I don't condone illegal activity, but to me, if you're thinking about committing welfare fraud, don't. It's the government. It's the government. People don't ever want to owe money to the government, which is the IRS and the mob. They're probably one and the same. Those are people I would never want to owe money to. Nope. Me and my husband got audited one year. We didn't know it was coming. You never know when an audit is coming. We got audited one year. We paid it. Wish I didn't have to. We got audited. We got income tax back because that was the last time we got a return. I ain't got a return in years. Okay, but they just took it out of the return. And I think after they took out the audit, we had like $150 left, and it was like, okay, because it could have been more money. Thankfully it wasn't. But I ain't seen a return in years. What people don't realize, I don't know if people know this. Y'all probably know this, but the more money you get back in income tax, that means you made little money for that year, and you're getting back the money they took out of your paycheck. So it's the opposite. The more money you get, that means you made a little. Or a lot of times when you fill out that W-9, which is what you fill out when you get employment, a lot of people don't fill it out correctly, so you get too many taxes taken out of your paycheck. You kind of want to make it even. You got to know how to fill it out so you break even. Usually we owe every single year. We try to do it to break even without doing anything illegal, mind you. Okay. Try to write off what we can legally write off, like if there was any big purchase or anything for your home, or a business write-off, because not everybody knows what my husband does for a living, or the businesses. So there are things we can do as tax write-offs, but legally, because we have the proof and that shit exists. You have, all that. So anyway, but if you're thinking about committing fraud, don't. I'm telling you, the government will come after you when you are comfortable. You will think you've gotten away with something. You're never going to get away with it. The only time that they can't is if it's longer than 7 years, they can't come after you. You can fight it. And it's the same thing when you take out a loan for school. That's a federal loan that you're taking out for school. You don't pay that back, they're going to come after you, and they want the interest for all the months you didn't pay. So let's say you take out $5,000 and you decide, I'm not going to pay this back. Okay. So by the time they catch up to you, you may owe $15,000. And they're going to get it. They're going to get it. And then you can't, depending on how much money it is, not only will you have the fines, you can get prison time. Like I'm not saying this to scare. This can happen. People get sent to prison all the time for owing money to the IRS. All the time. Like, you have a better chance of getting off for unaliving someone, that's funny, not funny, than owing money. This country does not play when it comes to owing them money. They don't. Like, you have to be very, very careful. But smart criminals don't get caught. So, but me, I'm too scared. I'm too scared to try to defraud anybody because ain't nobody gonna come knocking on my door talking about, hey, you're under arrest for XYZ. Listen, nope. Everything is by the book. We wait till the last minute to file taxes because if you know you owe the IRS money, why would you be filing in February? I'm filing in April, the day my taxes are due. Okay. And yes, I can say mine because me and my husband are married. Okay. Also, people getting paid in cash and making purchases that extend beyond their means. Yeah, they do. Little boy, that's a truck outside. No. If you get paid in cash, you need to report that too. Okay, you need to report that too. No. Yeah, hold on. All right, y'all. Yeah, like if you're getting paid in cash for anything, whether if you're renting out properties and you get paid in cash or whatever, that you need to write that off. Yeah, as people know, my husband owns properties. I know I don't own them. And there's a couple of people that pay in cash. We report that. We have a receipt. We have, with the receipt we give to the tenant, and the copy is for us, and we report that every single year, and we have the proof. We have, the name, is LLC. Everything is done the right way. Everything is done the right way. Everything is the legal way. Like you need attorneys that specialize in real estate and knowing what's legal, what you can do, what you can't do, like knowing that if a tenant does something, what's illegal, what's not, what's illegal, what's legal, and your rights as an owner of property and the tenants are like, we do all of that stuff. You need to, if you own multiple properties, and knowing what all the terminology, all the legal jargon, and someone to explain it to you in layman's terms, this is what this means. Yeah, I think so too. So income won't be reported. But I mean, also this, if you use Cash App to deposit money, that's a paper trail. Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, it's a paper trail. You think a $1 billion corporation like Cash App don't have legal shit in place? If you get money every month from Cash App and you get over a certain amount, they will automatically report you to the IRS. If you think because it's not a bank account, think again. Because every time when Cash App takes a fee or whatever, they have to report that money that they're taking to you from the IRS. Okay. So this Cash App as a corporation, they have to do their taxes every single year, just like every corporation. So if you're making a certain amount of money every single month, it's either every single month or a year, because you may go a couple of months where you're not making any money. But if you're bringing in, let's say you're making $1,000 a month, let's say you're making $500 a month to $1,000 a month, and that's coming in Cash App. If you don't report it, Cash App will. So it's better to just do it yourself. It's better to just report it yourself. Buddy, what are you doing? Where you at? Buddy? Oh, okay. I don't know where he was at. He's in the office. So if you think you're trying to get one step ahead of the government, they're 10 steps ahead of you. They are. The government, the more technology we get, you think the government doesn't already know things that are in place? Like they know everything that's about to happen. Like when you have these movies being made, nobody's pulling those ideas out of thin air. It's from somebody who knows something about whatever, like off topic a little bit. Think of the show Paradise. Have y'all watched Paradise? No, you're not going in my room. No, sir. No. You want to go in your crate? Hold on. All right, I'm back. Have y'all seen the show Paradise? I don't want to spoil it if it's if you guys haven't seen it. It's a really, really good show. But I will use there was a movie on Netflix called okay, I won't spoil it. It's a really good show. I will not spoil it though, but very, very good. It's every episode will have you thinking, okay, like what's going on? Okay. But anyway, there's this movie on Netflix called A House of Dynamite. And it's basically about, you know, if we had missiles coming to this country, and it had all these different points of views of the president, it had the military, it had people in the Pentagon, and it was saying like, it went through everything. So the reason why I'm telling this is because that idea for that movie didn't come out of thin air. There are protocols. And they actually, when I was reading like trivia and I was researching about this movie, because that's the type of person I am, they actually talked to people who had worked in the military, that worked in the Pentagon, that told them things that they could tell them. Because, you know, when you work these kind of jobs, there's a lot of shit you can't say. And they were saying, yeah, we would handle it this way. No, we wouldn't. So it was very true to a point. And so what I'm saying is, if you think that you can get over on the government, you can't. There are things they have technology that they probably have technology we won't even see for another 20 years. They have things in the works that it'll be 5 more presidents in charge before it even happens. You know what I mean? And so people that think they're smarter than the government, you're stupid. You're not. You're really not. So it's one of those things where don't quit trying to steal money. Quit trying to steal money from the government. You can't. You can't. I don't care how little you think it is. I don't care if you think no, it don't matter. It don't matter how little money you think. They don't play when it comes to their money. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care. Because if it's only a certain amount of money, then you should have paid it back. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know? Like, so yeah, what made me want to do this live show because of the lady, like she got kicked out of her Section 8 apartment. It's just like, girl, I mean, Section 8 probably figured if you can make 10 grand in 7 weeks, then you don't need us. And I'm in agreement with them because like you were hustling. And the lady has 6 kids. So in a way I feel bad because you got kids. But my thing is this, is that if you're going to do something like this, you need to think about your kids. You need to think about, is this going to put me in a position where I don't have a roof over my head for my kids? If there's even a doubt, like you're on a jury, if there's any doubt, don't fucking do it, you know? Because to me, I'll use myself as an example, okay? Because I've always said I'm too petty for divorce. But let's say I got divorced, right? If I got divorced, okay, I have a child to take care of. Granted, she's 17. But she ain't grown, all right? I have a child to take care of. So what would be the first thing I would need to do? I would have to go get on welfare. I would have to because, you know, yes, I would get alimony. I wouldn't get child support because my daughter's going to be 18 in less than a month. So I would get alimony because this is California. But that wouldn't be enough for me to live on. So I would have to go get a job. You got to go get a job, okay? There's a gap in my resume, but I'm going to do what I have to do the legal way because I ain't trying to go to jail. You know what I mean? So I would have to go out there and do what I need to do as long as it's legal and there's nothing that's sketchy about it. You know, you do what you need. If you actually care about your kids, you do what you need to do. But the girl getting kicked out of Section 8, when you sign up for Section 8, it literally tells you you cannot run a business out of your home. And not only that, you were selling food out of your home, which legally you cannot do unless you have a license and you have to go through the health department. Do you know how hard it is for the health department to approve a license for you to sell food? Do you know how many hoops you have to jump through to get a license to sell through the health department? Like there's a lot of hoops you have to jump through. All right. So you're making grapes and you're selling them out of your home. Health code violation right there. And I was reading the comments on these videos and people were chiming in, and somebody worked for the health department and they were like, we get cases like this all the time. And, you know, we have to crack down on people. And there was even like, there was somebody who was a leasing agent. I'm a leasing agent, and I deal with Section 8 all the time. And that's literally, doesn't matter where you live, doesn't matter what state, it's literally in every single lease that if you get approved for Section 8, you cannot run a business out of your home because that is income. And not only that, she was taking the income, she wasn't reporting, and buying things to sell for her business. So you were taking welfare money, buying things to run a business that you were not reporting income for. The mental gymnastics that I had to do. I was like, oh, okay. All right then, okay. Because why? I don't understand. And it's always people with kids. It's like, why would you not think about the risk that you're putting your kids in, or the situation you're putting your kids in by doing something like this? Like, I'm glad you found a way to make money. I'm glad, because you got 6 kids. Okay. I'm glad you found a way to make money, but you should have reported that income. $10,000 in 7 weeks. That girl was slinging grapes out of her apartment. I'm not mad at it. I'm not, but girl, you should have reported it. You should have reported it. And your leasing manager, the leasing agent who works at the complex, reported you because she kept seeing people coming in and out of your apartment. So she decided to do some Facebook detective work and found out that you have a business and you were selling things on this business Facebook page. And she realizes, okay, this tenant is on Section 8 and she's committing Section 8 fraud by so the leasing agent, what she did was cover her ass. Because if you are a leasing agent and you lease someone with Section 8 and you knowingly know that someone is committing Section 8 fraud, you can lose your license as a leasing agent or being a manager. So she was like, nah, you ain't nobody about to put me in jail, so I'm going to report it. So she did what she was supposed to do legally. Now, her being petty and going to make a fake Facebook account to come on, I wouldn't have did all that. I would not have done all that. I would have just reported it and been like, hey, listen. Because they're not going to tell you who reported. If you want to volunteer that information, it's fine. They're not going to tell you. They're just going to say it was reported. It was reported that XYZ. Like I said, I know somebody who works for the Department of Human Services, and she says 99% of the time when they find fraud, it's someone reported it. And she says there's sometimes where there's no fraud because somebody is reported to be petty. But she says most times it is. Once we start investigating and we find this, that, or whatever, we have to cut benefits or whatever. And she said it depends on the situation. Sometimes there may be fraud and we're like, well, you need to do X, Y, Z or do this or whatever. But most times it's like, yeah, we're cutting you off because you thought you were slick. You thought you were going to get over on us. No. And also, I talked about this in my story, is that people who do this, that's why there's this stigma when it comes to getting welfare, because they ruin it for the people who need it. They ruin it for the people who are doing the right thing. Like, they're following all the rules. Like, okay, I have welfare. I need to find a job, working this many hours. If I don't have these hours, I need to do some type of community service or whatever to make up those hours. And they did it where if you have a child under the age of 4, you don't have to work. Wait a minute. Light bulb. Stacy, light bulb. Holy shit. Holy shit. there is a law that I think it's all 50 states. If there's a two-parent home, one of the parents doesn't have to work if the child is under 4 and under, but the other parent has to. If it's a single parent home, if the child is 4 and under, they don't have to go to work, because by the time you're 5, you're in kindergarten and then you're in grade school. So it's making me wonder, if that's why someone wants to have a baby before a child turns 5. Yes, for welfare. Yes, because they know how expensive it is for daycare. But there's also daycare that goes by your income. I had it for my oldest daughter. They went by my income. I didn't have to pay for it, and I just took her on the days that I worked. But they did that law, like if you have an infant, a little toddler, if the child is under 4, you don't have to go to work. But if the child is 4 and up, 5, 6, whatever, you need to have a job or you need to be volunteering. So that was a light bulb that went off. I was like, wait a minute. Could this be the reason? Is this the reason why it needs to happen right now? Holy shit. I don't know. I'm just going to say allegedly. Allegedly, I think that could be okay. But anyway, yeah. So, Well. Where's my dog? Snoopy? Oh, I see him. Okay. It was like a light bulb that went off in my head. So, yeah, I don't know. But yeah. Okay. So in other news, I want to talk about why I got the mixer. Because it's going to be exposed soon as to why I got the mixer. So I figured I would come clean and say why I got it. It's very hard for me to come on here and explain what happened as to why I got the mixer. So here we are. Okay. So as many of you know, I got a mixer for Mother's Day. All right. For my wonderful husband. Okay. I told him I wanted one back in February. And yes, the Kitchenaid gate. That's what we're going to call it. Kitchenaid gate. Okay. I'm gonna put that somewhere in the title. Kitchenaid gate while talking about welfare fraud. Okay. So I told my husband back in February I wanted one for Mother's Day. I gave enough notice because the Kitchenaid mixer is not a cheap appliance. But I will tell you this, they last for years and years and years, all right? Like my mom had one for years. She got it as a wedding gift, and it only broke down 5 years ago, so she got a new one, okay? So I told my husband back in February I wanted one, and that's not the truth. The truth is, I told him in January. I know. And the truth is, my best friend has one. And because I copy everyone, I got one because she had one. I got one because my mom has one. Yeah. I got one because I would see it in the stores. I got one because a lot of people that cook have one, and a lot of people that bake have one, or they have a handheld. It's all Jamie's fault. I copied Jamie. When I got the Erin Condren planner, you know. I copied Jamie when I got the Aura Stella planner, you know. I copied Jamie when I signed up for Simply Gilded. I'm just a big old fucking copier. I have no mind of my own. I am so easily influenced. I don't have a backbone. I mean, if Jamie bought a house right now, I would go buy one too, because I just can't think for myself. So yes, I did see someone with it and I decided to buy it. There we go. There it is. Yep. Truth of the matter is, all kidding aside, a lot of people have a KitchenAid mixer. A lot of people have a KitchenAid mixer. Okay. I got one in my favorite color, pistachio green. Because if you're going to get an appliance, get it in the color that you can. Okay. My best friend Jamie has a pink one. She loves pink. So she has a pink one. My mom has a white one. She wanted one that matched her kitchen. And, you know, they've moved since then. My parents got a house last year. They bought a house last year. Congratulations to them. So it matches our kitchen. Listen, the fact that you have the money to be like, look, I'm going to buy one just to be fucking petty. Listen. That's awesome. I love my KitchenAid mixer. Look, listen, my daughter made me cupcakes for Mother's Day, and she used the mixer and the ease of everything. Everything's blended so smoothly. Oh my God. I might start making sourdough. No, I won't. I do want to make some French bread though. French bread is very easy to make. I do want to make one. And a KitchenAid mixer comes in handy when you make one. Also, a Dutch oven comes in handy when you make one. And having an oven that fits it comes in handy when you want to make some bread. So yeah, I have a great Dutch oven recipe that I'm going to try. I'm going to do it this weekend. I didn't do it today because by the time I wanted to cook it, you have to cook it for 2 hours. And we're not running any appliances between the hours of 5 and 8 because it's the most expensive time of day to run appliances. So I told my husband, it's going to have to be something where I do as soon as I get up in the morning and let it cook for 2 hours. So I'm probably going to make it tomorrow when I get up, and I can't wait. It's like a pulled chicken with like the chipotle chilies, and I'm going to make cilantro lime rice in my lovely rice cooker. And I have some homemade guacamole still from the tacos. And I got some good homemade salsa from this Mexican butcher that I always get my carne asada from. So good. Get your meat from a butcher if you can. It's so good. It's just so much better. And it's cheaper than getting it from a grocery store. Like, for instance, when I used to get my flank steak from my grocery store for 1 pound, it cost me $25. I get 2 pounds for $18 from the butcher. So yeah, I get my other groceries delivered, but I'll gladly drive to the butcher to get my meat. Okay. But yeah, I can't wait to make it. Usually I make my chili in my Dutch oven because Dutch oven holds heat very, very well. So I was like, you know what? I have 2 Dutch ovens. Okay. So let me tell the story of how I got 2, because I have 3. I have a smaller one. I keep my cobalt blue one on the stove along with my other blue and white one because they match my kitchen. So I got my Dutch oven maybe 3-4 years ago. I ordered it from Tramontina.com because there was a girl I follow. Her name is Chef Risha, and she has the La Crusette. I've always wanted a La Crusette, but the way my money is set up, maybe one day I'll have one. And she said, look, if you guys want something that's more affordable, that is basically the same as the La Crusette, get the Tramontina. I'm going to listen to a chef. So I ordered, oh my God, your expensive hours are 5 to 9. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not doing laundry on the weekends, and I'm only going to do it. I got to do it before 5. And just to be on the safe side, I do it in the morning. But I'm only doing it Mondays and Thursdays. I'm even shortening the amount of days I do laundry. I'm doing laundry 2 days a week. 2 days a week. Monday and Thursday. But before noon, okay? So I ordered my Tramontina. I got a cream color one because it was before my kitchen was going to be blue and white.
And so I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. But the rim, it started like chipping on the outside. It did not affect the inside of the bowl. I only had it 2 weeks. So I contacted them and I was like, yeah, I bought this only 2 weeks ago. And they said it was a defect because it should not have been doing that soon. And because it was a defect on their part, they sent me another one. They said, what color do you want? Because I thought they were going to say, send it back. Because I've sent things back before to companies. They said, no, it's a defect because they would have just trashed it anyway. So they said, so I asked for the blue one and they sent it. And so I also have a skillet, a Tramontina skillet that I've been using for like the past 5 years. And that I use that skillet for everything. I got it from Sam's Club. Tramontina got some great pots and stuff. Okay. So I love my, yes, they do. They make really nice stuff at good prices. Like I got a skillet for like $30 and that thing holds heat very, very well. And I mean, of course it gets the burn marks on the bottom. That's what happens when fire touches things. Right. So, but I love it. I love my Dutch oven. I love it for chili because it's very, very deep. And when you make chili, you make a lot. And I love it because you can just take it from the stove to the oven. You know, I made a deep dish pasta one time and I'm like, I made a baked ziti one time and like, it was like this thick and it was so good. It was so good. And then, you know, the next day, like I would put it in the refrigerator like that, right? And I would take it out. I would let the pot get room temperature a little bit. Then I put it in the oven. I ain't even got to change dishes. I put it in the oven and let it cook on low for a little bit. So good. So good. But yeah, I have a smaller Dutch oven too. And I usually use that when I'm like heating up soup or something like that. But yeah, I just love cooking in general. As you guys saw, I put up like a 47-minute video of all my cooking videos from TikTok, but I love cooking in general. I love learning new recipes. Now that I have my Kitchenaid mixer, I want to do more baking. And so I really just love cooking. And then you guys know I love my Blackstone grill. Excuse me. I love making like any type of meat on there. I love it because like if my husband wants fajitas, I have fajitas on one side. I have the meat on the other. I've made pancakes on there. I've made eggs and bacon. It's to have everything in one spot, just a flat surface. Love it. I have a Blackstone grill outside too. It's been about a year since I bought propane for it. I need to get propane because something about a propane grill just cooks a lot better. So I will get one at some point. I haven't thought about it right now. But yeah, I love cooking, love grilling. It's just something I really love to do. My love language is cooking for people. I love, and like the fact that my husband tells me that nobody's guacamole is better than mine. Yes, that's the only opinion I care about. That's it. I've had people make my guacamole, and I always say the secret is sriracha and extra lime juice. Okay, extra lime juice. I'm telling you, that's my guacamole is simple. You only need avocado, jalapeno. You can use a red or white onion, cilantro. Okay, sriracha, stir it up. Right now, my ratio is this. Okay, I do 1 jalapeno for every 2 avocados because I like a good kick. So if I'm doing a big batch of guacamole, like 10 avocados, I'm putting 5 jalapenos, okay? Because I like a good kick. You know, if you don't like spice, lessen the jalapenos, okay? And I add it with the seeds too. The seeds are what adds the spice to anything. And when I make a small batch, I just use 1 bunch of cilantro. For making a big batch, I use 2. And with the lime juice, I just eyeball it, you know. Usually what I do first, I put the avocado in a bowl and I add the lime juice and I smash that up first. The lime juice just get into the avocado. Then I just chop up the vegetables. Doesn't matter what order you put it in. I put them all in and then I add the sriracha and I stir it. And then when I stir it, I add more lime juice and I stir it up and I always have a bag of chips to taste test it. And I have it down to a science that it is now perfect. I haven't had to add anything more in about 2 years. I've perfected the guacamole. I love it. I love my guacamole. It's so good. I've had people make my chili too. My friend Evelyn told me, she was like, look, I made some and had some cornbread. I was like, bitch. So last week my husband was on the business trip. I stayed home. I guess he trusts me now. And typically when my husband goes on the business trip, me and my daughter get together. We're like, what do we want to eat? What do you want to eat? So she wanted a big batch of chili, and I bought some cornbread, and oh my God, it was so good. It was so good. Now I've made cornbread before, but I didn't want to make, because when you buy a box, it makes too much. So I just got like a small thing of cornbread from my grocery store, but it was good. It tastes like somebody was in the kitchen making that shit before they sent it to me. And so it was good. I also made a pot roast. That's in my recipe video. I made a pot roast. The key to a good pot roast is searing it on all sides before you put it in the crock pot. All right. And I let it cook that evening into the next morning. I added potatoes and carrots. You can add celery. If you want, you can do it over mash. If you can forego the small potatoes and make mashed potatoes, which a Kitchenaid mixer. My mom makes her mashed potatoes in the Kitchenaid mixer. And I love my mom's mashed potatoes. And you can just put the beef pot roast over the mashed potatoes. So good. So good. So yeah, I usually cook a roast when my husband is gone because he doesn't really crave a roast like that. So I hardly cook it, but my daughter loves it. And the good thing about cooking a roast is that me and my daughter will eat on that for like 2 days. Then we can eat on the chili for another 2 days. And so, but one thing that my favorite meal that I make, that's probably my husband's favorite meal that I make, is he loves a good taco bowl. So I do this. I used to work at Chipotle. So I make the cilantro lime rice. I learned how to make it from them. And I'll do the cilantro lime rice. Like I'll put my rice in the rice cooker. Rice in the rice cooker tastes so much better. So it's like, it's sticky. It's fluffy, it's sticky. And I do the cilantro lime rice. And then it depends if he wants chicken or if he wants steak. So, I'll cut up the chicken, like cube it up, See, the chili was bomb, delicious. And I'll do the steak. And then sometimes he wants fajitas. I'll do fajitas. I'll make a guacamole. I go all out. And there's times I'll make a pico. Oh, the salmon bowl. Yeah, my husband loves the salmon bowl too. Like there'll be a week like we want just the regular salmon and veggies. And the salmon bowl is so good, y'all. With the sriracha mayo. Yes. Now the salmon bowl, because you can really do what you want to do with that. Like I think the recipe I said if you love like seaweed, I have the seaweed squares in my pantry. The seaweed is very, very salty. So I'll just put it in the bowl and I'll tear the strips and I wrap it up like a sushi and I eat it like that. You can add, I do it with the purple cabbage, slices of avocado with carrot. I used to do cucumber, but my husband doesn't really care for the cucumber, so I forgo that. But usually it's the red cabbage, the sliced carrots, and then the sriracha mayo, and then I'll add seaweed to mine. But I love Asian food. Going to Tokyo, I love Asian food. I love a good ramen. I love sushi. So yeah, I love. If somebody told me the only thing you could eat is carne asada tacos and Asian food for the rest of your life, I'm fine with that. I like. I usually cook my salmon in the air fryer because it gets that really nice crust on it while it's still juicy on the inside. I perfected how long to cook that. And then if I'm making just a regular salmon with veggies, I love a cauliflower broccoli mix. Let me tell you the secret to a good broccoli and cauliflower mix: lemon juice. So I get the broccoli and cauliflower and I put it in my air fryer, right? And I pour lemon juice on it. And I let that lemon juice cook into the broccoli and cauliflower. And every time you bite into it, you get that kick of lemon juice, and it's so good. It's so good that I will buy broccoli and cauliflower just to have for a lunch. Because it's good and it's healthy. So yeah, I love vegetables. I do. Anytime I have to meet with my nutritionist, because yes, I have one. Okay. Anytime I meet with my nutritionist, there is never a question of, am I getting the right nutrients? She'll ask what I eat. I'm like, listen, honey, there's always a meat. There is always a grain. There is always a vegetable. Okay. You ain't never got to worry about me. Like, I like my junk food. I do. I like my junk food, but there's a healthy balance. Like right here, it takes me 2 days to finish this Bloom energy drink, y'all. It's only 10 calories. The crisp apple is so good, but it takes me 2 days to finish this. Actually, I opened this morning, and it's still. But since it's Friday, I'll drink the rest of it. But if I'm drinking something other than water, this is my Circle bottle. The key to drinking water, always have a water bottle with you. I love my Circle bottle. I hardly drink soda. So I drink water so much that a lot of times when I drink soda, it's too sweet. That's how long I've gone without soda. It's too sweet to me, even the zeros, you know. This flavor is the mixed berry. So the black and white cherry, crack. Whatever they put in the Target lights is what they put in that white cherry and the black cherry syrup. I love this thing. I got this and my Starbucks tumblers had got neglected. I use them now, like if I want to drink some. I like the Simply Lemonade, so I started bringing back out that. But this right here, air fryer is the best invention. I have the Ninja one. It has the 2, and you can bake a cake in there. Oh, y'all, I made the Japanese cheesecake in my rice cooker, y'all. The jiggly jabby. Have y'all seen the Japanese jiggly cake? I made it, and me and my daughter ate it up. It was so soft and fluffy. My God. Because I got the rice cooker, I was like, it says cake on here. And a friend of mine named John, he's planning with John here on YouTube. He was like, look up this YouTube channel for the Japanese cake she makes in the rice cooker. I was like, shut up, you are lying. And I made it in the rice cooker because that's a cake option. And it was so fluffy. It was so light. You ever taste something and it tastes like there's air in it? That's what it tasted like. It was so light and fluffy, and it was really, really good. And not a cheesecake, Japanese pancake. That's what it is. And you put syrup on it. Oh my God. It's about this thick. It's like thick like a cake, but it tastes like a pancake. So, you know, make sure you have somebody to eat it with, you know. But it was good. I really enjoyed it. I love trying new recipes. I love trying new recipes. I've made the Duke spicy chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A, and mine is better. I don't care. My husband said mine is better. So it's good. It is so good. I have that recipe is also in my my video I uploaded here on YouTube. The Duke for the Chick-fil-A. So good. So good, y'all. So good. But yeah, my husband loves a good Cobb salad too, either with chicken or without. Cobb salad is very filling because I do the works. I get the lettuce, I get the carrots, I get the tomato for my husband. Boiled egg, bacon, real bacon, okay? Get chicken in there, big hearty salad, so good. Oh, that's also in my video. My God, how many recipes did I do? I do a lot of cooking on TikTok. Yesterday, I did the taco one. Was it yesterday? No, the day before. Wednesday, I did the taco one. So good. I love a good street taco. And I had, pickled onions. Look, my husband doesn't like pickled onions, but I love pickled onions. Carne asada taco. So good. We used to get tacos from this place called Those Tacos. They had some of the best. It's called Vampiro tacos. And it was just the carne asada, cheese, and the pickled onion. And I put a little bit of salsa. Delicious. So simple. So we haven't eaten in a while because they raised the price of their tacos. I'm like, I'm not giving y'all $3 a taco. This is stupid. So usually now, whenever we want tacos, I just make it because it's a lot cheaper. So you can make pickled onions. You know, I try to make them on like the ratio. I got the ratio wrong, so I kind of gave up. But I just buy the jar of it, and it's so good. It's so good. But yeah, you know, I love cooking. Cooking is a lot of fun for me. I don't like to clean up if I'm using the stove, but I really just love cooking. And I mean, some people say I can't cook. That's fine. As long as the people that are eating my food like it, that's all I really care about. I mean, but Evelyn tried my salmon bowl and my chili, and she said it was good. So I figured if it was nasty, she would never say nothing about it. Hey, Amy. You know, I figured if Evelyn didn't like the food, she would have not even said anything about it. But, you know, I wouldn't do a recipe for a food that I thought people wouldn't like, you know. And I try to make my cooking videos, I try to make the recipe as simple as possible because I realize that everybody doesn't cook. And so it may be their first time, like, oh, let me try this, you know. So I really just try to make it very, very simple. Look, we had salmon and veggies the other night, and I inhaled that salmon. Oh my God, I inhaled it. And the Brussels sprouts. I like my Brussels sprouts with a little bit of char. Brussels sprouts are my favorite vegetable. I make it with a little bit of char on it. I put sriracha on it. Oh my God. Amazing. And it's healthy. I love when a healthy food is just so damn good. It's like, what else is there, you know? But I would say most of my food, maybe not the chili, but I would say most of my recipes have a good health aspect to it, you know, because you're always going to get a protein, you know, for the most part. So, but yeah, I don't know what we're having tonight, but I'm going to make that Dutch oven recipe tomorrow. I will film it. Depending on how it tastes, depends on if I upload. What depends on me uploading it depends on how it tastes. So we'll see. If I'm like, oh my God, this is the best thing since sliced bread, I will definitely upload it. If it turns out to not be a hit, I'll be like, okay. Because my thing is that if I make it and I don't like it, I can say I made it. We didn't really like it, and that's okay. You know, I would rather have made something than not have made it, because it's a 2-hour cook time. So the prep is like 30 minutes, but the cook time is very long because you put the chicken thighs in there with like the adobo, the chipotle chilies, the adobo sauce, and it's 2 hours because it's gonna be pulled chicken. It is a pulled chicken taco bowl. All right, so you're gonna put the chicken thighs, you're gonna season the chicken thighs, you're gonna add the chipotle chilies and the adobo sauce and chicken stock, and you're gonna put it in the oven for 2 hours. And then once you bring it out, you're going to shred the chicken because it's been cooking for 2 hours. And then I'm gonna do cilantro lime rice. All right, and then I'm going to I have enough guacamole, but you can also slice avocado. You can put whatever salsa on top of it. And so I have the salsa already. And I think I'm gonna put a little bit of pickled onion on there. I'll let you know how it is. I've never made this recipe before, so that determines if I upload a video or not. But I'm gonna film it because I don't want to not film it, and it's so good where I'm like, I wish I filmed this, but I will film it. It's not my recipe for the chicken part. But I figured I would upload it for how I make it. So just the part of me cooking it with the ingredients, like everything I add to the chicken, that's not my recipe, but everything I'm doing after will be. Because she had like some corn on there and just sliced avocado and all that. And that's perfectly fine, but I'm not adding any vegetables to it like that. And she just had regular rice. I'm doing cilantro lime rice. And I have some pico salsa in the fridge. I have some guacamole, so I'm really gonna doctor this thing up, and I will let you guys know how it is. And I was looking up Dutch oven recipes. I was like, this looks amazing, and this looks like something that's right up my husband's alley. I even found Dutch oven enchiladas, which I haven't made enchiladas in a long time. I haven't made enchiladas in a very long time. And like lasagna, I've made lasagna once, and I'm thinking, did I not like it? And so I was finding all these Dutch oven recipes. That way I can get more use out of my Dutch oven. They just take longer to cook, and I don't like to run my oven when it's hot. But I really want to try this recipe. Yeah, I will. If tomorrow comes and my husband doesn't want it, because usually when is that Ronda Rousey UFC thing? If that's tomorrow, he's not gonna want it. He's gonna want pizza. So I'll end up having to freeze the chicken because I don't want to. I bought chicken thighs. I don't want to go bad, so I'll end up freezing it. Usually when I buy a meat, I'm cooking it that week. I'm cooking it within a few days. But if he doesn't want that chicken, then if he wants pizza, then I'll just I'll make it Sunday. No problem. But yeah. So you can copy it. So yeah, speaking of copying, I bought some fragrances today from TikTok. It was a 3-piece perfume set. I was like, I ain't bought a fragrance in a long time. Let me go see what I can do off TikTok shop, right? And so it was like $23 with the shipping and all of that. And so it has all the notes that I love: vanilla, amber, musk. I'm like, yeah, okay. Let me just go ahead and order it. So of course, I will do like a first impression. I always do my first impression perfume stuff for TikTok. And my perfume, when I check my analytics, my perfume videos seem to do pretty well. It's so like whenever I do like my first impression, they seem to go pretty well. My perfume videos do well. My skincare videos do well. What else does well? My Hobonichi videos do really well. I didn't know how they would do, but my Hobonichi Plan With Me videos do very, very well. What else? I stopped doing the things I'm loving because those weren't performing as well as I wanted them to. And so there's no use in it. So I really do track my analytics for TikTok, and I see what videos do well, and I keep doing them. And then I see what videos don't do too well. And so I really need to go back and see how well my hair videos were doing to see if I need to do more of those. I don't really know. I didn't look at that. I know Dollar Tree hauls do really well, but I haven't been to I'm not like those Dollar Tree girls. I don't go to Dollar Tree like every day or every week even. I've been really cooling it on my skincare because I have so much of it. And so I'm running out of one of my favorite moisturizers from Dollar Tree, but I am not going to go back yet because I still have a good moisturizer from Five Below, and I have a backup under my sink. And so I don't need anything. I don't need any serums. Definitely don't need any toners. That glow toner, I got 3 backups under the sink. So I'm good on a lot of things. The only thing I need a backup of is some SPF. And I'll reiterate this. I don't care what you put on your face. If you are not wearing SPF, everything you did before that is useless. You need an SPF if you're going to see the sunlight. SPF is the most important skincare ingredient you can have. I don't care what I'm doing. I don't care if I just wash my face and throw in a moisturizer. An SPF is going to go on my face. Okay. Skin cancer is a thing. Okay. So always an SPF. I do need to, yes, exfoliate an SPF, please. I use an exfoliator like twice a week or when my skin needs it, So yeah, I need to get another SPF. Usually I like anything more than a 50, especially when it starts getting hot. I need more than a 50. And so I need to, I had a big old bottle. I just get regular. I don't get any special SPF. I had a bottle from Target. I like it because it just sprays. And it always gives me this nice glow. I think it was Brittany was saying, you're glowing. I'm like, girl, it's the SPF. That SPF gives like a really natural glow without looking greasy. But I don't care how I look. If my face is protected, I don't care how anybody thinks I look. If I look greasy good, that means the SPF is doing what it's supposed to do. So yeah, I really SPF, exfoliate. Also, not only this, what you put in your body will show on your face. So if you are not drinking a lot of water, if you're not eating the right foods, and not even that, if your junk food, your processed food is overshadowing the healthy food, it will show up in your face. And I'm not saying this to shade. I'm just saying because this is the fact. Like everything you put in your body will show up on your body. It's like explaining weight gain. What you put in your body shows up on your body, but what you put in your body will show up on your face. So a lot of times, if you're having a lot of breakouts, think about what you've been eating. Mom taught me skincare as much as she could, but since she was the first generation to do it, it wasn't prioritized enough. Yeah, that's me too, Brittany. Like all I was ever taught growing up was to wash your face. I wasn't even taught about moisturizer. So I grew up with just walking around this hot ass weather with dry ass skin. I'm like, so I started with skincare back in like 2016, so 10 years ago, and I was a Sephora girl. I was a Sephora girl through and through. This is when I was working. Yeah. I used to be a Sephora girl, Ulta girl. I used to buy Laneige all the time when it was at Target. I remember when Target was selling Misha, that Japanese skincare brand, which is a really good brand. And then, let me see where he's going. in the office. Come here, Snoopy. And you know what? I will get, here's the thing, okay? Since I copy everyone, I will give credit to the girl, all right? I did find out about a lot of Dollar Tree skincare products from her. I'll give her credit for that because I can dislike you, but not be naive and be stupid, right? So yeah, and so when I saw what the skincare that she was getting and then the ingredients that she was saying was in it, I went down the rabbit hole on TikTok. And then I would start following. I love following estheticians when they recommend products from the Dollar Tree and dermatologists. They'll go to Dollar Tree and say, this is a good ingredient. This is a good ingredient. And so I would go down the rabbit hole of TikTok. And now I'm at the point where I can still see a Dollar Tree haul video and not feel like I need something from the Dollar Tree. Come here. Down. And you know what? And I don't live near a Dollar Tree. I'm glad. And I live even further from a Five Below. So it's really a good thing that I don't live near these places. But one, it involves me leaving the house. You know what I mean? Hi, sir. Hello. So, if I got to go outside, that also limits if I want to go. And then Five Below, I mean, the shipping alone is $7. So if you ain't buying at least $20 worth of stuff. No, come here. Down. Thank you. But like right now with like skincare, I'm really, really good. And I purchased some perfume because I was like, I'm looking at my perfume collection and I was like, okay, I haven't bought anything in a minute. It's been a while. The last perfume I bought was when we went to Lake Tahoe in March. And I bought those little 2 perfumes from CVS, which I love. So I was like, okay, I haven't spent any real perfume. And I didn't even pay for that. That was my CVS extra care bucks. I was like, I didn't really spend no money on that. So, hey, down. And then, so I was like, let me buy some perfume. Because I've been really just trying to use, what I have and, different combinations and whatever. So then I was looking at my perfume. I was like, okay, I done made a real dent in this. And I'm trying to keep track of what I want backups of. I love Soli Notes. I discovered Soli Notes, was it late last year? And they've been around forever. And they're affordable. I think their perfume was like less than $30. That vanilla is one of my all-time favorite. And that's like over halfway gone. I love the pistachio, really good. I love the matcha, but the pistachio was giving me life. So I love pistachios. Vanilla is my favorite. I love pistachio. I love cherry. And so I really, I have a cherry perfume that I got from Five Below. It's the dupe for the Sabrina Carpenter. And when I sprayed the body spray from Sabrina Carpenter and the one from Five Below, identical. Now the Sabrina Carpenter one may last longer, but the initial smell is exactly the same. I wouldn't be shocked if it was from the same factory, honestly. I love the Choco Musk. I got that off of Amazon for like $8. It's so good. That is halfway gone. The pistachio from Choco Musk is halfway gone. I love the marshmallow too. So I was looking at my I'll be off here in a minute and I'll get your food. So I am saving this stream for anybody that came in late. So I've been finding some really good affordable fragrances. And you scared him. And so like I gotta give it to Evelyn though, because Evelyn last year sent me some really good perfumes. Like she told me she was sending me the Honey Ode from Bella Vita, right? And so when I opened that box, I was like, wait a minute, Evelyn. Evelyn sent me full-size bottles. So because of her, she put me on to Lattafa. Well, no, I already had Lattafa Encombe. I have a backup of that. Lattafa Encombe will always be in rotation. And so she sent me Lattafa Yara Choose mango scent. I loved it. So then I got the candy. Love that one. And then Lattafa Comras is so good. I was going to get a backup, but since it's so strong to me in a good way, you only need like a couple of sprays. And so, and then Bella Vita, since she sent me the full size of the Honey Ode. So I had the sample sizes. Bella Vita makes a unisex one called Sky Aquatic, and I got the full size of that one. So I like buying the sample sizes because you can see what you like and what you don't like. And so, yeah, I've been really loving the Bella Vita ones. And she sent me the Lattafa Abrage oil, and I haven't used that one nearly as much as I want to, but it's a really good one. And so she sent me Ocha Sinful, which, oh my God, that cherry scent is amazing. Absolutely amazing. And so that one, she sent me Swevin. That one I think is halfway gone. The only thing stopping me from buying any more Ocha is the price. Their bottles are $50. Now, in the perfume world, that's not a lot of money. It really isn't. But considering that most of my perfumes, I spend $30 and less, I'm just like, okay, I'll get it eventually. I will. It's a cherry scent, but I'm like this. I might as well go for the Sabrina Carpenter, which is less than $30. So I think I'll go that route. It's like, okay, yeah. But yes, I really started loving fragrances like last fall, and it's another hobby I just love. But the great thing about it is that you can use it over and over and over again. And I started learning about notes and everything. And I love, if you guys like fragrance, follow Roxy Slay Official on Instagram. She is how I learned about a lot of notes. She explains it like you're a toddler. And so so I learned a lot of notes from her. She's an expensive girly for perfume, so I can watch her for what it is. Also, my Scentbird subscription. I love that. I got Burberry. I can't remember, Burberry Bright something. I like that one. I like trying these expensive perfume samples because it lets me know what I like. No, I'm not. It began to feel like a chore. And anytime something feels like a chore, I stop doing it. Not saying I won't get back to it. And then also this, I didn't like the way I had it set up in my Erin Condren. I'm covering the cover because the cover of my Erin Condren has my grandson on it. I don't show that publicly. And so I did not like the way I had it set up in here. And that's what really turned me off on it. I did not want to get another notebook. I did not want to get a notebook for that. So I'm like, okay, I don't know. It felt like a chore. I think if I had it set up better, I can get back into it. What I may do, because I do have a B6 notebook that I'm not going to use, the one I was supposedly using. I was like, what's it? The one I was going to use before I got my Erin Condren for July through December, I can easily use that because I can really space things out in there and write notes about what my, what my favorite scent is. And also things are just more fun for me if I have some color on it. So I can easily throw some washi down or a couple of stickers or whatever. So I could easily get into it. We'll see what I come up with this weekend. We'll see what I do this weekend because I can easily see myself getting back into it. I think I'll do that because it's just a notebook. I don't really want it to go to waste. I don't want to use it just to use it, but since I love fragrance and I love but I like different combinations and everything. And then I can easily take notes, like what was my favorite perfume for that month? Like what combination did I like and whatever. I think I could do that. I think I'll do that with that notebook this weekend. Kind of set it up for that. So I already have the cover decorated. It has a bunch of Alice in Wonderland. I got some stickers from Paper Trail Plans. It's like Alice in Horrorland, right up my alley. Halloween, Alice in Wonderland. And so it's set up really cute. So I think I'll do that. I do. And if I do set it up, I will show it on my Instagram. So yeah, we will see. We will see. But yeah, loving. I love fragrance right now. I'm glad I have a hobby that I love. It's not too expensive because I'm not buying a bunch of perfume at once. But to me, I think it's fun to have a hobby that's different, completely different from another hobby. Like I love planning and I love buying supplies for it, but I love venturing off into something else and not taking on too much, because that's not good either. Just picking up a hobby just to pick it up. And so, but yeah, I really enjoy fragrance and learning about different notes and then I'll ask ChatGPT. I'll pick up a perfume like, does this perfume go with this perfume? And there was one, it told me this is not a good combination. So I was like, okay, look at that. And so, but if it's like a dupe perfume and I know the notes for it, I will ask, do these notes go well with this perfume or these notes? And ChatGPT will break it down for me. And I'm like, okay, all right. So yeah. But yeah. Hello, sir. Hello. Hi. No, over here. Don't go over there. Good boy. Good boy. Ate your food, huh? Ate. Good boy. But yeah, it's just gonna be me and him after next Saturday, not tomorrow, but next Saturday, the 23rd. Buddy is going. I talked about this earlier at the beginning of my stream. Buddy's going for training for 6 weeks. I will have a trained dog. July 4th, I will get my trained dog returned to me. So yeah, it'll be Snoopy here for 6 weeks. It'll be weird because I've never just had Snoopy for 6 weeks. It wasn't weird when Snoopy was gone. I miss him, of course, but I was so used to having Buddy for 4 years. So but it'll be crazy to be without my boy, my sidekick for 6 weeks. But he will be. I know I'm going to miss him. I'm going to miss him because the longest I ever left him for was a week when I went to North Carolina with my husband for a business trip, and we left him for a week. And so I'm going to miss him. He's going to do well because I miss Snoopy, but that time went by really quickly. And I look at it like this: he's going to be a much calmer dog when he comes home, and he's going to be a better dog when he comes home. So yeah, it's just some things that. Even with all the training that me and my husband did, there's just some things we're not good at. And I can admit that, but I'm not good at something. And we saw every week we were getting updates with Snoopy, like videos sent to us of how well he was doing. And me and my husband were just shocked, And so, I mean, different breed entirely. German Shepherds are very easy to train. But just we saw how well he was with Snoopy, and he did home visit. We did a park visit the other day to see how Snoopy was socially. Snoopy was a perfect gentleman out in the social world. And so, so the real test will be Memorial Day, which is the 25th. We have something here at a park. It's called 1,000 Flags. They do it every Memorial Day. They put up 1,000 flags for all of the people that gave their life for our country. And they have like veterans there and everybody there, and they have like people giving you information and all that stuff. And so I'm going to take Snoopy to that and see how well he does. But when we got the videos of like the training and everything, and the trainer is very, very good. He always communicates. And when we saw how well Snoopy was when he came home, and he gave us pamphlets on everything, and also about keeping the leash on the dog when you're doing the training. My dogs don't have, Snoopy hasn't worn a leash in a long time because he's, as the weeks went on, the trainer would be like, okay, you can start being a little lenient with the strict training. And so, but he still gets it. Like we do place a few times a day. We do crate training. We say home, he goes home. He knows what that means. He goes right in his crate with no problem. And so, so yeah, but he'll be a much better boy, when he comes, and it'll be good. It'll be good for him. You know what? My dogs are spoiled as they should be. One, not only, and I hate to bring money, like not only do we pay a lot of money for our dogs, I don't care how you get a dog, whether you buy it from a breeder or you get it from if it's rehomed to you, get it from a shelter. If you cannot fully commit to loving your dog like part of your family, you don't need one. You don't. I know lots of people don't allow dogs in their furniture. I don't. That's fine. I allow my dogs in my furniture because I wouldn't tell my kid to sit on the floor. And you guys know how much I clean my house. So my dog's paws are only dirty if they come from outside. And I usually stop them before they try to jump on the couch. And then I have a blanket on here, like I can wash things, right? And so I'm very good to my dogs. Like for instance, I researched what is the best kibble for a German Shepherd. It's the Purina Pure 1. That bag of dog food, the pound, I got the 47 bag pound of dog food. That bag of dog food is $100. Okay. I could have easily kept getting the bag from Sam's Club, but I want my dog to have the best dog food that I can afford. So I got the Purina Pro. It's out in the garage right now. I'm gonna put it in the thing once they're done with this food. And we have the Fi collar, which is a GPS collar, because you need a GPS collar on your dog before they get out. And so, you know, I have the e-collar this right here. I only use it when I have to, when I'm doing training, when I'm doing commands. Typically, now they only have it on when they're outside. And Snoopy just came in. I haven't taken his off yet. But using the tools that the trainer gave us and like the pamphlet I brought home, it's been really helpful. And any questions I have, I was sending video, like the first week I was sending videos every day of me just doing the simple commands. And the trainer was talking, he said like, that's perfect and everything. And so I was sending him videos of Buddy with his reactivity. He was like, thank you for these, because now I can come up with a plan for him. And so, but he's in good hands. And I recommend, if you can afford to get a trainer for your dog, if not, please take the time out to train your dogs and love on your dogs. And the way I introduced my dogs, there has to be a proper way you introduce your dogs. If you only had one dog for years, never bring a second dog into your home right away. Don't, because you're coming into this dog's territory, right? And a dog is going to be very protective of their home because it's their home, as they should be. So when we brought Snoopy home, I took him around and I brought him in the backyard and I let him run around a little bit. And then I brought Buddy out. I had Buddy on a leash because I'm bringing a new dog in. And I let Buddy sniff him. Buddy was happy. Buddy was sniffing him. I let them run around the backyard for like 40 minutes, just run around and everything. And then I opened the door, my sliding door, and both of them came in. And, for Buddy was fine for like 3 days. And afterward, it was like, when is Snoopy going home? And I loved it because Snoopy was only Buddy size for like 5 minutes, And what I loved, and this is the German Shepherd trait, Buddy would try to bully Snoopy, and Snoopy would like shoulder check him from like the time we got home. Snoopy would shoulder check him, and like if he tried to try to like bully him, like try to dominate, Snoopy would like walk up on him like, "Who are you talking to?" Like, who are you talking to? And he still does it, and they play fight and they lick each other. So, Buddy missed Snoopy when he was gone. Buddy would go to Snoopy's crate every day to sniff it. I would open it up. Buddy would see he wasn't in there, and then I would close. But Snoopy missed him. Buddy missed Snoopy when he was gone. And so, but yeah, I introduced them slowly, and I don't have their food bowls next to each other. They have their water bowls because they'll drink out of water. That's not a problem. But Buddy's very protective over his food. And so, but one thing I did with Snoopy that we did, like all the mistakes we made with Buddy, I learned to do with Snoopy. Like from the get-go, when Snoopy came home, I would mess with his paws. I would mess with his ears. I would pet him. If I gave him food, I was, pet him a little bit. That way he didn't get triggered if I did it as he got older. If he was asleep, I would go pet him. If he had a toy, I would take it from him to see what he would do. And now I can go up to him, like if he has something he's not supposed to have, I can easily open his mouth and take it. I can't do that with Buddy, not yet. And so, I have like black lava rock out of my backyard. Snoopy likes to bring it in the house. I'll go to him and just open his mouth and take it out and throw it outside. And so, you know, Snoopy's not allowed in my kitchen. Buddy isn't either. You know, and I'm just my dogs are my life. Just like my kids are my life, my dogs are my children. And I treat them as such. And are they little shit sometimes? Buddy mostly, but I mean, it does not change my love for him, you know, because if I didn't love him, I wouldn't be getting trained for him. If I didn't love him, I wouldn't have him. And like I said, my dogs are spoiled as they should be. You know, Buddy doesn't really care about toys anymore, but Snoopy loves toys. And, you know, and look, Snoopy's getting a cake for his birthday. Now, Buddy won't be here, but I got a cake for Buddy's first birthday from a place here that specializes in dog cakes. I will be getting the same one for Snoopy. He will have a birthday cake on his birthday, and there will be birthday pictures. His birthday is June 5th. And so, so what's crazy is his birthday is June 5th. So is my youngest daughter is June 10th. They're 5 days apart. All right. So what's 5 plus 5? 10. Buddy's birthday is August 4th. Haley's birthday is August 8th. 4 plus 4, 8. The way this worked out is the craziest thing to me. All right. How are my oldest boy and my oldest girl Leos and my youngest boy and my youngest daughter both Geminis? How did that work out? So it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And both of my dogs' breeders, okay, they are on the American Kennel Club website. That's how I chose them. So my dogs are purebred. They're not mutts. All right. And for the record, as far as the most popular dogs in the United States, German Shepherds are number 3. There's a reason why cops use them. There's a reason why military now uses like the cousin of the German Shepherd, which is the Belgian Malinois. Listen, I would rather own 10 Jack Russells hyper than own 1 Belgian Malinois. Belgian Malinois is not a dog for the weak. It is not a dog for the lazy. You need to have a job for that dog at least 10 hours a day. That is a hyper dog that wants to work. Unless you are hiking and you are doing working, unless you have a lot of acres of land, do not get that dog. They're gorgeous. They're pretty. A lot of people get them because they see them in movies. That dog is trained. So, but yeah, cops generally use German Shepherds because 1, they're easy to train and they're diligent. You know, they focus very, very well. So, yeah, you know, and German Shepherd is my husband's favorite dog is a Doberman. The second is a German Shepherd, and we got Buddy because my late father-in-law loved Fraser, and you know, dog on there, the Jack Russell. So my husband loved the Jack Russell because of his dad. We didn't know how hyper a Jack Russell was, but here we are. But Buddy was my oldest daughter, Haley's dog, until she moved out. That was her baby. And so then he became my baby. But she created a monster because he's crate trained, but he doesn't like to sleep in the crate. But the great thing about him being gone for 6 weeks is that's how he'll sleep. So he'll still be sleeping in a crate when he comes back home. And he will not be allowed to sleep in the bed. You don't want to go backwards. So that'll be interesting to see when he comes back home. But yeah, you know, my dogs are both of my boys are the reason why I don't go live every day on TikTok anymore. You know, I give a lot of time of day to my dogs, you know, and so it's not about just spending time with them, playing with them. A lot of times I'm outside with them. And I don't have my phone filming everything because why? You know, it's a lot of time it's just being with my dogs and just sitting here while they're here laying down. Snoopy has a toy. Buddy's laying next to me sleeping. I'm watching, you know, for 2 labs. Ooh, what color labs? You know, and so, you know, I love my boys. I love my boys. You know, I'll do anything for them. I will. And, we don't do dog parks anymore. My trainer said don't do dog parks not because of my dogs, but because black labs, pretty. it's usually other people and dogs. And I want to say women. Women are on their phones at the dog parks and not paying attention and everything. And so I used to take Buddy all the time to, okay, $125 a day. That's some easy money. I used to take Buddy because we didn't have a second dog and I wanted to get him acquainted with, other dogs and everything. And I took Snoopy so he could be around other dogs, but now I don't need to do all that. If my trainer does not recommend a dog park, I'm not doing a dog park. I'm going to listen to him, because to me, what he says is gospel. He's been doing training for like 10 years. And so no longer need to do a dog park. Them being with each other is fine. And just doing the walking and everything. A couple times a week, I'll walk them together. But then I do one-on-one focusing with walking and making sure that when you're walking your dog should be walking at your, exactly. To me, when you're walking your dog should not be walking you. Your dog's shoulder should be at your thigh. All right. Your dog should be checking in with you. They should not be looking back at you. They should be checking in, looking up at you to see what you're doing. They should be at the same speed as you. I see so many people walking dogs and the dog is walking them. No, get you a prong collar, a little click like that. They straight up real quick. Buddy used to be really bad at pulling until we got a prong collar. That prong collar changed how I walk him. As soon as he puts, he knows how it feels when it's on. So he doesn't even try to pull. Snoopy either. And so walking is also, as much as they love walking, it's also a training exercise. And it could be no cars coming, but we will practice sitting at the corner. And with Snoopy, I can drop the leash and walk away and he will not get up until I tell him. And that's what I want the same thing for Buddy. I've shown this like on a live stream. I've shown video of it too. I can walk away from Snoopy a few feet and he will not get up until I say, okay, come. So I give the command. And so it's, walking is all about training and, just like humans, there's a time to work and a time to play. Same for dogs, and they get a lot of play time, but there's also time when we're working. Like there's times I'll on the prong collar and we just do walking because it's too hot. We'll just do walking exercises around the house because I have what's called like the shotgun, front door and back door. And so we just practice going back and forth and I have treats and we do training exercises, and then I'll get Buddy involved and we'll do it too. But yeah, and Snoopy has a place bed that was included with the training, the price of it. We have a place bed. We got Buddy one, so we won't have to pay for that. We won't have to pay for the prong collar or the e-collar. So we pretty much got like a discount because we already had those things. And so the only thing I'll have to bring with Buddy is a bag. I just need a food to last for 6 weeks. I'm just gonna get a small bag of food that'll last for 6 weeks. And so, but yeah, But yeah, whenever we walk, you guys know I have my little walking vest and I keep protection on me because if anybody's going to get hurt while I'm walking my dogs, it'll be me first. It'll be the other dog second. My intention is to never want to hurt a dog. But if it comes between another dog and my dogs, I'm going to do what I need to do. I have bear mace. Bear mace is the only mace that works on dogs. And one time walking Buddy, I had to bear mace a dog. A guy's Labrador had this thin leash, thinner than this, walking his grown lab, broke off of a leash and came and ran at me. And come on, he wants to play. I don't know what your dog wants to do. Trying to jump on me, and I sprayed him. Did I want to? No, but my dog is a Russell Terrier. He's a baby. And so I had to spray his dog, and he was mad about it. I'm like, no. This is what we're not going to do. You're not going to get mad at me for doing what I need to do to protect my dog. Okay. Like, no, all right. I'm like, you need to get a big, I said, you need to get a better leash on your dog. All right. If you like, what are you doing? It's always the owner of the dog at fault. I don't blame the dog. I blame the owner. There's no bad dogs. It's shitty ass owners. Okay. Your dog is not trained enough. Why does your dog think it's okay to break off of a leash to go chase another dog? That's an owner problem. That's a training issue. Your dog, when you're walking your dog shouldn't even be reacting to other dogs. Your dog should be so well trained when you're walking it, when a person walks by, they should just sit. I ain't never gonna worry about a person walking by when they walk, but people see a big dog like Snoopy, I will cross the street because I don't know how that person is with dogs. Could have had a bad experience. They don't know what my dog is gonna do. I don't blame the person because I would be the same way. But Snoopy does not react to other dogs. He might look and say, "Oh, a dog," and we keep walking. And also, your dog should not be off leash if their recall is not good either. I don't care about off leash walking. Honestly, I don't, because I'm not going to be anywhere, where my dog is off leash. I mean, maybe if we were some camping people, maybe, but speaking of, my trainer told me, like, when the park is not the dog park, take a retractable leash and put it on Snoopy and just have the e-collar and see how his recall is, because he's going to think he's, free. And so I'm like, and he said, but keep the short leash on him too, in case you need to go roll up and grab him. And so that's going to be my next training exercise with him. So it'll be after Buddy is gone, and I'll take him just to see how it is, because I want to try that to see how it is. But yeah, I mean, to me, if you love your dogs, you will train them. To train your dog is to love your dog. You want your dog to be the best, well-behaved dog. You don't want nobody not coming to your house because your dog doesn't know how to act. You don't want nobody saying, "Oh, I can't go to Kristen." Like, no, like, we don't have many people at our house. We don't. When the trainer came, Snoopy was barking everything, and he told us what to do, and he said, practice just ringing the doorbell at random times a day. And so if we ever have a worker here, both the dogs go in a crate anyway, I don't want a lawsuit. But if we were to ever have guests, like what to do and how Snoopy should behave and everything, like he should be on his place bed and he should not be getting off if you have a guest until you say so. And if he tries to jump up, have that e-collar on him, give a little, little click, he should get off, right? So, yeah. Also, you don't want to be the house where it's like, of course you'll see my dogs, but can't nobody ever come to my house and say it smells like a dog there. As much as I clean, no. If you have a dog, you should be cleaning your house daily. You should be vacuuming daily. You should be mopping daily if you have a dog. Snoopy has a double coat long hair. Do you know how many times a day I vacuum? I don't mind it. That is the job I took on when I got my dog. I knew going into it, I'm going to be vacuuming a lot. And I do. I also groom Snoopy 3 times a week. I didn't groom him today. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I do it outside. I do the first initial outside to get all the shed hair off. I have a machine to groom him, because if you love your dog, you'll groom them. You'll bathe them. Now, dogs don't need baths often. I usually take Snoopy to Petco, and he usually goes like every 6 to 8 weeks, maybe a little bit longer, to get bathed, usually to get his nails clipped because he doesn't like me doing his nails. Snoopy's been twice, but if you're not going to take your dog somewhere to be bathed and groomed, then you need to be doing that. And I bathed Snoopy the first time in my shower, because I have like just a walk-in shower. He does not like it, but I probably need to do it more. And Buddy will just stand. Buddy doesn't like it. Buddy will just stand there and let me do what I need to do. And so I probably will do Snoopy once Buddy is gone, like bathe him, like first get all the hair off of him and then go bathe him. And then I also have like a conditioner shampoo. You put it on and you just brush it. It's this guy that does grooming videos on. I got the mist. I went to his Amazon shop to see what he got, and I bought the same one. And yeah. And Snoopy doesn't mind I used to have to give him cucumbers. Now he'll just sit there. I never met a dog who liked cucumbers, but Snoopy loves them. So yeah, I don't really I gave him human food twice and it upset his stomach. So I don't do it anymore. Like, it was like chicken and like a pepperoni and his stomach was upset. So I was like, no more human food for you. And I also pay attention I watch so many videos on dogs' body language, because a lot of body language is universal between dogs. Like, I can tell how Buddy's ears look. If his ears are back, he does not want to be touched. I look at if I'm petting him, I'm always watching. If his eyes are slowly going up, I will stop because he wants me to stop. I never pet any of my dogs without looking at them in the face first. Now, Snoopy, I don't have to worry about it too much, but I want him to see what I'm doing. Buddy, I'm always looking at his face because, you know, and I've learned that sometimes when dogs do certain things, it doesn't mean they want to be petted. Like I learned that if a dog is sitting next to you, it does not mean they want to be petted. I learned that if a dog is on their back, I used to think, oh, you want tummy rubs. No, that just means they're being submissive and they're letting you know that I submit to you, you're the boss, right? So there's that. So I watched a lot of videos on dogs' body language to see, you know, to make sure my dogs are good, you know. So yeah, sometimes Buddy will be in my lap and be like, I don't really want to be petted. Then why are you on my lap? You know, type of thing. And so, but Buddy loves human contact. Like he sleeps in the bed with us for now, and he likes laying by my legs. And so he just likes laying by people. So yeah, also Buddy's very reactive. If he sees an animal on the screen, I want to send the video of that to my trainer. Like, this is what we go through. And so Snoopy doesn't care about animals. Snoopy will see anybody on the screen and he does not care, which I'm glad. But yes, y'all, I am getting ready to get off here. My daughter wants some KFC for dinner, so that is what I'm going to get her. And it was a great stream. I am saving this stream. I am saving it in case for people who came in late. All right, y'all. And for y'all, it's if it's almost 8 o'clock here, I know it's almost 11 for some of y'all. So yes, I'm gonna get out of here. Thank y'all for tuning in. All right. I don't know when I'll go live again, but we'll see. All right, y'all. Good night.